Los Angeles is really the center of union organizing and progressive organizing in America. In much the same way, and for many of the same reasons as New York was in the early years of the 20th century. You have more immigrant workers here, you have more low-wage workers here, and it is a terrain like New York in the early years of the 20th century, where some of the most creative and dedicated union leadership has set in motion all kinds of mobilizations and organizing.
The unions represented here today account for almost 250,000 members countywide.
It is a major show of force with more than 3,000 union workers. They are bus drivers and other MTA employees that have been out on strike for almost a week.
We want to sell an agreement, and we want to get on with it, and it's about time they step up to the plate and swing at the ball.
There's just sort of the critical mass here of workers, of unions that are doing innovative things.
Employees of Lowe's in Santa Monica took to the streets.
Under the watchful eye of riot-ready police, the protesters broke into what was called Hotel in the Street. People acting out all the jobs that they feel union workers ought to be doing at the hotel,
hoping to get their message across.
This company has no dignity. This corporation has no conscience. Stop assaulting the values that are making this one of the proudest union cities in the United States of America.
We have a tremendous number of low-wage people here. The number of poor people in LA County during the 90s has increased by somewhere between a little over 500,000 to 900,000. Quite clear that there are crises of affordable housing, crises of inaccessible health care, and just a whole range of things which point to a two-tier city that exists even at boom time. Even as the West Side is just sort of drowning in opulence, there's a lot of this city where you've got 2 and 3 families living in a unit which was built for one family.
Nosotros estamos aquí peleando por nuestros derechos, por un contrato justo.
The whole shift of the national labor movement on immigration policy, away from employer sanctions, recognizing that, hey, those are our members and potential members whom employers can call in the INS and just throw out of the shop, throw out of the workplace. That has its genesis out here too in California, and certainly when the AFL-CIO did its nationwide series of hearings for immigrant amnesty and such, much, the largest was here in LA with tens of thousands of people coming out for that, and again organized by this labor movement, which has taken on really the aspect of a social movement far broader than simply the people who represent you at the workplace.
Building management, arrest the people that don't leave. Please leave and move to the public sidewalk. Thank you.
As we all know, organizing under labor law is almost an oxymoron. Labor law is worse than dysfunctional at this juncture. If you're going to prevail, you need to be out there on as many fronts as you possibly can.
Venimos a ayudar a la orden para que ustedes también nos ayuden. Sabemos que juntos podemos luchar. Sí se puede, ¿verdad? ¡Sí se puede!
Thousands of county workers walked off their jobs this afternoon to participate in a rally. They are pitching for a better contract, so are the United Teachers of Los Angeles.
Midway during the march, the teachers' union joined forces with workers trying to unionize at the new Otani Hotel.
One of the striking things that's going on in Los Angeles right now is you're beginning to see some union community cooperation around specific projects that is really pretty novel.
Walk with us and take us to the victory that we know is coming because you are a God of justice.
Certainly clergy has been a really sort of dramatic ally of the labor movement, and I remember during hotel and restaurants bargaining with most of the large LA area hotels, the processions of clergy in their vestments, in their robes on the sidewalks of Beverly Hills. This is quite the sight.
The
janitors started their strike with a rally and strike vote at union headquarters.
There have been some really significant victories in LA, of which the janitor strike is certainly the most dramatic. It was hard not to get swept up in it between almost entirely immigrant janitorial workforce and some of the wealthiest commercial property owners in the history of the planet. You know, a little less wealthy than, you know, the French kings before the Revolution, but not much.
The people who employ our janitors can afford to pay a decent living wage to the people who clean their buildings.
Janitors make an average of $6.90 an hour. They're asking for a $1 pay raise every year for the next 3 years.
The LAPD has declared a tactical alert in downtown LA tonight.
Things started to get ugly around 8:45.
An event like that produces a buzz that does things like turns more people onto unions.
Los Angeles tried to block a van of scabs from entering the library.
Something like that is really a clear signal that, you know, you can really make an impact. Janitors themselves were able to roll out of this victory and go on to organize a lot of other areas in the state, including Orange County, which is not historically a union-friendly terrain, to put it mildly. A major part of all of this is the ability of the LA County Federation of Labor to intervene in political elections and be a major power.
We are going to win this election. Let's get busy.
Buenos días. Disculpe, ¿se encuentra Diana Álvarez?
Buenas tardes. Yo estoy trabajando como voluntario para organizar.
Andamos invitando a la gente que salga a votar, ¿verdad?
Okay, gracias.
It's very important. Every Hispanic go out and vote on June 5th.
The labor movement has succeeded so many times that it has put the fear of God in an organized workforce into most LA area elected officials. Oh, yeah. I think you'll find a consensus here in Los Angeles, not just to pushing as far as we can go, but that this really is sort of the model absent what people would agree would be a better model. National movements arise from particular localities. The New Deal didn't come as a result of certain platonic ideas floating in the ether which suddenly landed in Washington in 1933. It came out of the experience that union activists and progressive activists had had in New York in the preceding 20 years. The crucial role of a place like Los Angeles is to be out front. This is just the place at this juncture with the most movement in the kind of direction that we all want to see movement going, and with the basis for more movement than just about any place else.